So I take Comites. My name is Reese. I am the current NJCL president, and welcome back to our series here on our NJCL YouTube page, where we go over everything that NJCL has to offer. This is technically also part of our subset Convention101, going over everything that Convention has. But today we're talking about Certamen. Certamen is an integral part of the NJCL, and it is an amazing activity. So let's get into it. First things first, Quid Est. What is Certamen? Well, the way that a lot of us describe Certamen is like Latin Quizbowl. There are a ton of different questions. You work together on a team. There are buzzers, and it's a really fun event to not only test out your academic skills, but to have a ton of teamwork, to just, have a lot of fun with other people, and, maybe you'll win. I also thought that this would be a great time to talk about the history of Certamen just for a very quick second. So, Certamen was first happened in 1971 by someone called Tony Ruffa, who was a Latin teacher at the Collegiate School of Richmond. It was discontinued later that year, but in 1972, Convention Chairman Miss Susan Scheer, of which there's a picture of her right here, who is one of our NJCL legends, brought it back, and since then it has never left. So that is a little bit of what Certamen is. So how do you play Certamen? How does it kind of work? So there are 3 rounds, and then there is a final round. We also have 3 levels, which are novice, intermediate, and advanced, and 2 ways that you can play Certamen. We have Open Certamen, which is kind of more for us who want to have fun, don't necessarily study rigorously the types of questions and stuff like that. And then we have Competitive. These are for the people who are really good at it, who practice it, who are there for the win. And so those are the 2 different types. And then we also have different types of questions. So for every single question, there will always be a toss-up question. This is for any person on any team, and they can answer. You don't confer between your team, and this is where and when you're going to use that buzzer. Then we have bonus questions. Bonus questions are when you get to work together with your team. It only goes to the team that won, and you get to answer that question. So that is a little bit on the logistics of Certamen. At NJCL Convention, when you do Certamen, your teams are going to be through your state. So when it goes into how to end up on your state team, that differs per state. When you play in your state, it's usually separated by schools. So you'll usually compete alongside your fellow classmates. Okay, there are different types of questions. So we're kind of going to get into some examples of those now. So for novice, our categories are myth, history, culture, and grammar. And some questions would be like, who was the Greek god of the sea? Or what is the second person singular of sum? Then we have intermediate, which is also myth, history, culture, and grammar. And you're going to see the differences. We're asking now, what is the first person plural imperfect of amo? And things like, which of the following were not, who of the following were not turned into trees? Daphne, Bacchus, Niobe, or Philemon. Then we have advanced. Advanced composes of mythology, history, grammar, and then we also get literature in there, and it will be only a small amount of culture or life questions. Some questions could include, give the third person singular perfect passive subjunctive of scribo, or let me move up here. In which book of the Aeneid did Odysseus' crew get turned into a crew of boar? So those are some of the questions that you could expect possibly to be in one of your rounds. Okay, so now we're getting into the how and the where. Just going to turn off my camera for a second. So how? Discuss with your teachers about joining your school's Certamen team or starting a team if we're doing this locally within your state. If you're thinking about joining your state team for the national Certamen, when it comes to NJCL Convention, that is when you're going to look at your state websites, talk to your teachers, look to your state co-chairs, stuff like that. You also might want to take a look at what category you might want to specialize in and what topics it asks you about. So when we were looking at those categories earlier, like myth, history, literature, grammar, or maybe you're all around and you love all of it, maybe that's something that you could look at too. When we're looking at Quando, check out your state Certamen games, again, looking at the website. And for a ton of study resources, check out this QR code. Okay, now we're getting into one of the biggest questions, which is why? Why do we love Certamen? And for this, I have asked a couple of people to film some videos. So first up, we have Miss Jenny Luongo, who is our current Certamen head here on our NJCL Board of Directors. So we're going to hear from her first.
Salve Womnes. My name is Jenny Luongo, and I'm currently serving as the NJCL Certamen Chair. The thing that I love most about Certamen is how much enthusiasm it breeds in all of the participants. I love the way that it makes students really excited to learn more about the ancient Mediterranean. And I love the camaraderie that develops in the community. And that includes the teachers, the coaches, everyone who is involved in the event. When I was a student, I didn't necessarily ever get to play at NJCL, but I remember how much I loved Certamen, how much fun it was, and I really think it's the reason I became a Latin teacher. So I'm honored to serve as NJCL Certamen Chair and get to watch other students grow and get excited about the classics. My favorite memories today involve all of the students that I've worked with and coached over the years, some of whom have continued to stay involved with NJCL Certamen, and I consider to be my really good friends today. I hope you'll consider joining in the fun of Certamen. We have lots of ways that you can be involved, and it's a great community. Thanks so much.
Okay, and then next up, I also asked our current 1 VP, Miss Stella Anderson, to say some stuff as well about Certamen. So we're going to listen to her next.
Hi guys, my name is Stella. I'm your first VP for 2025 to 2026, and as much as I have to explain Certamen as like Latin Quizbowl, there's genuinely nothing like it. It's such a unique and such a rich experience that I've just had so much fun with throughout high school. It obviously teaches you to do things like, think on your feet and to collaborate and to be attentive. But honestly, I think the best part about it is the knowledge of like who you're doing it with. That you're doing it with all of these other people who are equally interested and engaged with the classics. And you sort of know that everyone in the room with you is someone who's willing to devote part of their day, usually on a weekend, to just engaging with the classics, to studying it, and to showing off all of the time that they've already put in. It is an endless source of inside jokes and fun facts. I've made so many friends through it, and it is, in my opinion, one of the best parts of the JCL.
Okay. And then the last thing is a quote that I found when I was doing some research on Certamen by Miss Susan Shear, or our Shearosaurus, as you can see a picture here, which I'm going to read now. So it says, I have worked for over 50 years and remain dedicated to rewarding academic excellence among the best Latin students in our organization. I believe that most persons holding a PhD in classics are truly amazed at the breadth of knowledge which our NJCL Certamen finalists reveal. Even if these players decide not to pursue the study of classics, what Certamen has inspired them to learn has provided them with a background from which they will be able to face and analyze the myriad of problems which may present themselves today. So from my personal experience as well, Certamen is just a wonderful community of people. Personally, I play more in the open side. I love to just kind of have fun. But the knowledge that you guys have and that you learn is just incredible. It's something that I admire so much. Everyone's teamwork is just amazing. Getting to see everyone work together and getting to work together even with my classmates has been incredible. And truly it is a community of wonderful people, collaborative people, and just supportive people. And you guys take your craft so seriously. It is honestly something that I really, really admire and love to see as the president for this year. Along with this, it's not only fun to just play, but it's fun to cheer on your teams at NJCL Convention. You can come during score checks. You can give a lovely toast to your state. I'm from Virginia, so we usually do some VAs. And it's just a great thing to not only be a part of, but get to watch and get to support people. So that was our video on Certamen. If you have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to ask your sponsor. Check out the NJCL website, which is in that QR code, I believe. Or you can email me, president@njcl.org, or our Certamen chair, which is currently Miss Luongo, and next year will be Miss Andino, which you can see at certamen@njcl.org. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and karate, I hope to see you in the next one.